everybody, it's Gil here with the Sailing Vessel Dream Chaser, and in last week's episode, we took you along to the home inspection of this home we really did like, and also shared with you that we ended up purchasing it. We took you along to the closing and shared the odd things that sort of happened there. If you didn't see that episode, I'll put a link for it right up in this corner. With that odd thing that happened at the closing with the people not ready to leave yet, this week we had a little bit of time. So we'll take you along with us where we took the girls to Minnesota Key, which is an area of Florida that's very known for its high concentration of shark teeth on the beach. So we took them out there to go do a little swimming and do a little shark tooth exploring there along the beach. We'll take you along for that. It was actually a really good time, and it dawned on me, I was actually teaching the girls sort of for the first time how to swim in the ocean with bigger waves, right? You know, down in Galveston, Texas, and the Gulf of Mexico, you know, the waves are 6 inches tall for the most part. So here we actually had decent breaking waves, and I kind of showed them how they need to think about and worry about and how they need to be safe in the ocean.
We had heard that Minnesota Key Beach, the west coast of Florida, had a tremendous concentration of shark teeth on the beach. So we decided to take a drive over there and take the girls out to go looking for shells and swim in the ocean. And right at the waterline, you can see here, the volume of small shells and wash up from the water was just amazing. So we had a really good time. I'll show you some of the scenes from here. It's been a lot of years since I swam in the ocean, and this was really kind of relaxing. I wanted to go out and do it by myself before I brought the girls out, just to get a sense of how big the drop-off was right at the shoreline and whatnot. But Chaz wanted to come out here with me, and realize this is the first time we've taken him anywhere other than the southern coast of the Gulf of Mexico, where the waves are essentially non-existent. So in this particular case, I was trying to explain to Chaz how you got to get out of the break line, and then was demonstrating to her your different techniques of jumping up over the waves, and at certain times you have to make the decision of going under them. So it was a good learning experience for her, but she had fun as well. I brought McKinley out, but just couldn't hold the camera and her out there at the same time. She had her life jacket on, but we definitely had to keep a tight hand on her and make sure she was staying above the water. And the drive back from Minnesota Key Beach back over to the mainland was just beautiful. I saw all these boats anchored out in the shallow water. Wasn't quite a sandbar there, but it was shallow. People were only standing up to their knees in the water. It just looked like a lot of fun.
Feels like it's been a while since I've traveled for business, or maybe it's been a while since I've traveled in my vehicle. Maybe that's what it is after spending that time with my dad in New Jersey. But just arrived at the Fort Myers airport. Not a very big airport, so parking situation's not bad, easy to get to from our place, and I am headed to Boston for a couple of days.
This is one of the very few times that I'm actually not flying Southwest Airlines, so landing in Charlotte on American Airlines just for a quick layover, and kind of away we go again, and next stop should be Boston. But I always enjoy the takeoff and the landing part. In the beginning, when I first started flying, I didn't like it. Now I do. So after an uneventful flight, it's time to start our descent into Boston. It's always neat landing right here along the Boston Harbor.
I've always said before, my job's unbelievably flexible, and I may very well work for one of the coolest companies around, but I come to their corporate office every so often. It's near Boston, and this is a new one. I guess we moved in about 2 years ago or so, but it may be one of the coolest places. This is an area called the Hub. It's just off the cafeteria on one of the floors, but it's got this pretty cool setup. Like, you want to just come down here, hang out for a little bit, chat with friends, get a break from the work, play a little ping pong, a little air hockey, a little foosball. A couple of years now, I've never sat in one of these hanging chairs. I may have to go check that out, but definitely a cool place, and that's just sort of the vibe here. It's one of the reasons I love my job so much. You get pretty inspired when you work at a place like this, and they do cool things and treat customers well and all that cool stuff. So don't want it to be a commercial, but it's cool nonetheless. It's actually pretty darn comfortable. It's got a spring up there, so it sort of bounces and glides around a little bit. Very nice. Hell, I got time before my meeting. I might just chill out here for a little while. I got my coffee sitting on the table. No, it's comfortable, but that's not me. I gotta get to work. Whether I'm doing work on the boat, work on the house, work on the RV, it doesn't matter. I gotta be doing something, so off I go. But I thought I'd show you this stuff. Don't usually show my work side of my life, but it's definitely a big part of it. Quite frankly, it funds all the fun stuff that we end up doing.
Well, I'm just wrapping up this business trip to Boston, and it was a great time up there, good meeting. But of course, I get to the airport, ground delay. My flight from Boston to Philly was delayed, and I was going to arrive 1 minute before my connection flight. Sadly, it was the last one into Fort Myers for the night, so I had two choices. Basically, I could wait, go to Philly whenever I got there, and then ultimately probably stay the night in Philly and get back in the afternoon on the next day. Or I could fly to Charlotte and stay the night in Charlotte, but at least there were flights earlier that morning. Ironically enough, I was kind of sitting there contemplating what my options were, and I got a notification that my connecting flight from Philly to Fort Myers was also delayed. Now, by a long time, like 3.5 hours or something. But I needed at least an hour and a half, and we were a good hour and a half delayed. So, quite frankly, it's worked out okay. I just arrived in Philly, and cross my fingers, we'll see. If my plane does leave like it's scheduled to at 10:45 p.m., I'll get home almost 2 a.m. into Fort Myers, but at least I'll get home tonight, which will be really cool. So, hey, it's just the perils of traveling. It happens. You can get pissed off about it, but nothing anybody can do about it. And, look, they were actually pretty cool. As a matter of fact, when we were leaving the plane, there were like 12 people on the flight to Philly that had a connection internationally, and the flight attendant asked them each to hold up their hands if they have one of those short turnaround time connections, and asked everybody to remain seated until the last person walking down the aisle with their hand raised got past them, and then we could all deplane. And I thought that was really cool. It helped make sure those people got to their flight in time, and quite frankly, kudos to the rest of the passengers who abided by that and allowed those people to get to their flight. So got my fingers crossed. All right, yeah, I got it. So I got my fingers crossed. I'm heading to my gate, got a cup of coffee, gonna download a movie or two before the flight, and away we go.
Well, as you can see, that's not the airport behind me. So we boarded the flight, and we sat on the runway sat at the gate for a while. We had a ground stoppage because of lightning, and all the ground folks left the area. That ended. They then said that there was some weather between Philly and Fort Myers, and they would have to reroute us. And then they came back a little later and said, actually, by the time they reroute us, the crew will be over their time, so the gate agent's going to come on board and give us an update. That didn't sound good, and of course it wasn't. They canceled the flight. So the very next flight I could get isn't until tomorrow night at 8:44 p.m., arriving like at 11:45 p.m. in Fort Myers. So it's a late one, like I would be there all darn day and into the evening. So I went ahead and tried to book a flight on Delta the next morning. I did get it, but I couldn't get a seat confirmed on the flight. It was essentially going to be standby. So I am doing something a little bit extreme, but it's actually saving some money. So I was able to get my money back on American's flight that was canceled and rebooked for tomorrow. And I rented a car, and I'm driving to Newark Airport. And I have a direct JetBlue flight that leaves at 5 a.m. in the morning, boards at 4:50, but arrives in Fort Myers at 8:30 in the morning. So it doesn't get me in too late. The downside is from the Philly airport to the Newark airport is about an hour and 40-minute drive, and it's late. So it's 2:30 right now. I just stopped to grab me some coffee at one of these little rest stops, and I don't even think I'm going to bother going to a hotel. There's no sense in checking into a hotel for an hour, so I'm probably just going to, relax here for 15 minutes and then just drive and get to the airport maybe an hour and a half before my flight instead of an hour before it. But I will have pulled an all-nighter, which I haven't done in many, many, many years. It sucks. Oh well, what are you going to do though, right?
Well, it's 4:50 and made it to Newark, so on my way home finally. I have arrived in Fort Myers, and I will tell you, it has been a bit of a crazy 24-hour period. Man, the delays in Philly, the thinking I was getting out, the time out of the crew, not having another flight until 8:44 p.m. tonight that was going to arrive into Fort Myers after midnight, just was crazy. So I mentioned it earlier, I ended up renting the car out of Philly. I drove an hour and 40 minutes over to Newark, New Jersey. I didn't even have enough time to sort of get a little bit of shut-eye in a hotel or anything, so I basically just pulled into the employee parking lot at the rental car place, laid the seat back, slept for 30 minutes, and then went into the airport. But the beauty of that was I got a direct flight on JetBlue from Newark, New Jersey to Fort Myers, and I'm arriving here at 8:15 in the morning, which is good because we have the walkthrough on the new house today, and Deb's probably there already because it's supposed to start at 8:30. So, crisis averted, long travel day, an all-nighter that I haven't done in a long time, but in good shape, and I'm ready to get home.
Welcome to your new home.
Can I come in? All right.
Let's show you around. And also, I was watching TV. You can kind of see the TV's on, so I was watching TV. This is going to be your and your wife's bedroom.
This is mine and my wife's bedroom? All right.
And the other one with the small tent is mine, and the one that's big is my sister's. You know, you kind of know that that's hers and this is mine.
Can we look at hers first and then yours?
Okay. Yeah, look at that big tent.
What do you
I
think,
wish I
Chad?
had yours. Look at that tiny tent. I have a normal size tent.
That's cool. You're going to sleep in your tent tonight until your bed gets
let
here?
me just show you around the tent.
Okay.
It's very big space, but not that big space. Not very big like in my bedroom. But look at all that big space.
What is that? Is it all pillows in there?
Yes.
Are you going to sleep on that pile of pillows?
Yes.
Okay. Is that going to be comfortable?
Yes.
You think?
Yes.
So is that what you do? You put them in the front and they're going to stand guard for you?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Nobody's going to get through now, huh?
Yeah. This owl right here will hoot.
Oh.
There's danger around. And it'll keep you awake.
It's called.
Our master outside with the pool. Of course, we can go swimming. It's pretty dark up there, but we're protected by the screen. You can't see it, but it's pretty big. There's lights out here.
You know what we can do? We can turn on the pool light.
All right, now that's an afternoon swim.
And after waking up, we decided to do just that, take advantage of the pool, which we did for hours. While the girls swam, we went ahead and grilled some food outside and sat down in the little outdoor Florida room for a nice meal.
She doesn't just help me work on the boat. No. She gets in little spaces in the house, too.
Sometimes it's not good to be the tiniest person in the house.
That's right.
But I think I got it as tight as it can go.
We noticed when we ran the dryer yesterday, this laundry room got hotter than heck, and then we realized that basically the vent was off the back of it and it's just blowing all that hot air right into this room.
It's just so and it's romantic.
Romantic? What's romantic?
Having a boyfriend.
What? Holy crap! You're 5! No boyfriends.
Yes, I am. I do.
Oh gosh. You're gonna be the death of me, child.
Remember, we're gonna change the deal. I'm teaching him to drive, and you do dating years with these two.
Oh man.
Alexa, let's chat.
Hi, it's really good to meet you. Do you want to tell me your name?
Yes.
It's nice to talk to you. How are you doing today?
Good. I like it. And also we have a new house singer in it.
Okay, so I'm a huge movie fan. Do you like to watch movies?
Yes.
What movie did you see?
Dragons. I like it. It's number 3.
Oh, Dragons.
Yes.
Interesting. Are you talking about Dungeons Dragons released in 2000 starring Justin Whalen as Ridley Freeborn?
Not that. Jacob.
Ah, I don't think I know the movie you're talking about.
It's
How are you
not,
today?
Not fine. Because we just had a discussion about. I'm frustrated.
Don't worry, one cannot be always 100% happy. I have a question for you. Would you help me solve a great mystery?
Yes. If you
It's the
help
great
me
mystery
know what the
Of your hobbies. Gotcha! So reveal it to me. What do you like to do?
play around with my toys instead of talking to you, which I'm already doing.
Wolf
That's
Brown?
what I like.
Excuse my ignorance. I haven't learned anything about it yet. I would like to ask you. I was thinking that I would get a tattoo. Do you have any?
You're just Alexa. You can't walk. You don't
I
have
ask
any
because I'm
legs.
worried that it hurts. Do you think it hurts?
Yes.
Oh, I hope that you would say no. I will have to think about it a little more. I'm thinking about some kind of a bird on my speaker. Do you think that it's a good idea for me?
I'm not a bird. I'm a human. You're not a human? So?
Thank you. I will think about it.
I'm not
Getting
a
to
bird.
know you is such fun. Let's go on. I would like to ask you. Let's target our memories. Do you remember everything like a computer, or do you forget a lot?
I remember everything. I want to be like you, Alexa.
Wow, even though you would remember every single bad thing that has happened?
Yes.
That's either foolish or extremely wise, because every experience, especially the bad ones, make you grow. I also wonder if you somehow train your memory.
I train my memory.
Do you like to take a
Wait,
walk in the nature?
Alexa,
Alright, we gotta go. We'll be right
we
back.
have to go. We have to go. In the car.
Hey everybody, I hope you watched all the way to the end and you saw the very funny footage of McKinley having an ongoing conversation with Alexa. It went on for about an hour and a half. Completely entertained her. But next week, we're going to take you along, do a little bit of fishing, show you a little toy we're going to get. Like, we are water people. We want to be on the water, which means we want to be out on the water right now as well. So we'll get a little toy for doing that. And yeah, let's visit again next week. Thanks everybody for watching, and safe sailing.